But let's talk about commodities a little bit. Let's weigh in on the consumer goods market conversation. Adesola is joining us from Financial Derivatives Company. Damilare is live to us from our Lagos studios. Damilare, good morning. It's good to have you on the program.
Good morning, Bosun.
Yeah, it's good to see you. Let's go straight on what is on your burning economic issues this week as we're getting started, the second day of the business week.
Well, so first of all, we have the burning issues for this morning. We have power. Power output is up by about 22%. While this is good news as well, but compared to December figures, it's considerably low. Additionally, Brent price as well has recorded an increase. It's back up to $68 per barrel. And then also we have increases in diesel price from about $195 that it was trading at the beginning of the year. Now we see diesel prices range from about $200 to $205. And then lastly, there have been mixed movements in commodity prices. We've seen, while most of them have actually remained stable, we've seen some commodities, some domestic commodities record some increases. So really, these are the burning issues for this morning.
Yes, I can see some good news and some not so good news there. One of the good news is the power. On-grid power is back.
Yes.
The gas pipeline fire incident has been contained and being repaired. How do all of this come together for the Nigeria consumer market?
Well, so we saw that obviously the impact of the low power, the power output fell to as low as 2,500 last week. And obviously, I'm sure in your homes you felt it. And also, so there was increased cost for consumer goods manufacturers, domestic consumer goods manufacturers. So we're seeing now that most people had to switch over to diesel because, again, petrol, there was a petrol scarcity that was going on. So petrol wasn't even available. So there was increased cost. But gladly, it was temporary and short-lived. And now we're seeing power output return gradually and steadily to previous levels.
Well, let's move to what I like power, but you know, electricity is very important for everyone doing business in the agro-allied sector. So tomato is one of it. If I have fresh tomato, I need to preserve it in a refrigerator. Yeah. And if it's already grinded, I need to preserve a bit because I may have to come back to use some of it later. So let's talk a little bit of tomato industry. Let's get back to this business. This is part of our agribusiness industry in the new year. What's your take?
Well, there's a lot of potential in the tomato industry, but then again, apart from Nigeria, first of all, is the #1 producer in sub-Saharan Africa, producing about 2.5 million tons. Cameroon comes in at distant second, about 1.2 million tons. So there's a 1 million difference between the first and second in sub-Saharan Africa. But apart from that, we've seen that Nigeria remains one of the biggest importers of tomato paste. So while we are a large producer of tomato, the fresh product, the vegetable or the fruit, we've seen that the tomato paste industry hasn't really picked up as it should.
I'm looking at tomato prices. It's still about 8,000 naira per 50 kg. We can see lower price here for a 50 kg. 8,000 naira still on the high side if you consider the income and disposable income level of ordinary Nigerians, isn't it?
Well, it's 8,000 naira per basket. The basket, nobody's buying a basket. No typical household is buying a basket of tomatoes. But then right now, so looking at the average, you probably get about 8 tomatoes for about 200 naira at the moment, depending on which market that you go to. But really, tomato is one of the most volatile domestic commodity at the moment. We're looking at, if you look at the chart, you can see that the high was about 25,000 naira, and the year low is 8,000 naira, the current price. And so the main reason for this is really because the industry right now is mainly dependent on rain as a source of for its growth. So we find that as opposed to using more sophisticated means of technology, using greenhouses or looking at more sophisticated irrigation systems. So because of this, when it's not raining like now, nobody's really planting tomatoes because we'll move into the dry season. So we expect that in a few months, the price of tomato is going to go up. And apart from that, also, we saw the diseases that was a little bit on and off, more pronounced in 2016. So these are some of the things that just affect the prices of tomatoes. So it's really very volatile. The price of the market for tomatoes is quite volatile. Also looking at the fact that it's a very perishable good. Keeping tomatoes fresh is quite a task. And so these are some of the things that are just facing the producers at the moment.
Thank you so much. Oluwadamilare Adesola, one of the research analysts and economists at Financial Derivatives Company. Do have a great day, and the rest of the week be very profitable.